Hey guys, my name is Jane. I'm here at the Food to Eat kitchen today showing you how to make some really great healthy takes on our favorite comfort foods. Today it's going to be a cheesy cheddar chicken and broccoli casserole that we're going to make with quinoa, which is a healthy gluten-free alternative to pasta or any other kind of carb that you might normally use. You're only going to need a handful of ingredients, and they are quinoa, panko, which are Japanese breadcrumbs, some healthy Greek yogurt, which we're using in place of sour cream, 1% milk, we have some cheddar cheese, and I prefer full-fat cheddar because the low-fat cheddar has a lot of additives that I don't like to mess around with, a little bit of flour, some salt and pepper, a bit of butter, cooked chicken breasts that I just sauteed on a pan with a little bit of olive oil, and of course, our broccoli. Let's get started. The first two steps are to toast the panko in the oven and par cook the broccoli. We have the oven set at 400 degrees, and while I make my special sauce for the casserole, we're going to leave this toasting and the broccoli cooking. The sauce that we're going to make for our casserole is a play on a classic French bechamel, which is made by melting a little bit of butter with some flour in a pan and creating a roux, which is going to act as a thickening agent to our milk to create a nice creamy sauce. And right about the time that this comes together, you're going to want to pull your panko out of the oven so that it doesn't burn. Our panko is nice and toasted, as you can see. Got some great color. Our roux is bubbling, nice and bubbly. You want to add your milk slowly but surely. I like to add a little bit and then just slowly whisk it in so this doesn't spatter everywhere. Turn the heat down to low. Add a little bit more. If you add it all at once, it might get lumpy. And that's not what we're looking for. You also want to season it with just a little bit of salt. Don't go overboard because remember, your cheddar is salty, and you're also using, if you're like me, a salted butter, which will add flavor. After you've added all of the milk, you're just going to want to turn the heat up to medium and cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's bubbling. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up my chicken breasts into nice strips. That's all there is to it. And now let's check on our sauce. It looks like it's coming together nicely. In just about 2 minutes, we'll add our cheese and our yogurt. And a good thing to remember when you're cooking bechamel is that as it cools, it will thicken. So you don't want it to be incredibly thick while it's still on the heat because it will basically solidify once it cools down. So when you think it's just a little bit on the thinner side, that's when it's ready. So our bechamel is just coming to a boil, and what I'm gonna do is add just about 1/3 of a cup of yogurt, and then all of my cheddar cheese. We're gonna very gently mix this together. So as this is just finishing melting, we're gonna assemble the other components of our casserole. We're gonna add the chicken strips in here. And I've buttered our baking dish, so be sure to do that. We're gonna add our cooked quinoa. It's about 3 cups in here. We're gonna mix it more when we add the sauce, so don't worry. Alrighty, so the sauce is all here. Yum. I'm gonna pour this fountain of lava over everything. I like to give everything a good mix. And then we have our toasted panko, which we've prepared. That's like an instrument. And it's gonna give it a great crunch on top. So, just sprinkle that on. The oven is set to 400 degrees. We're gonna pop this in there for 15 to 20 minutes until the top is nice and bubbly, and then we're gonna sit down and enjoy a really healthy and delicious cheesy casserole. I've just pulled my casserole out of the oven after 15 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and depending on the consistency of how you like it, you can keep it in there for longer, or I wouldn't really recommend a shorter amount of time, but if you wanted it to really thicken up, probably keep it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. But I like mine just a little bit looser. And I'm just gonna use a spoon and just gonna have a little trial size here. Put a little bit of quinoa on the bottom. And I have some chicken. And a perfect little broccoli. And like a little child that I am, just have to wait and put on it. Should I do it? I'm scared, but I feel like I can't wait any longer. It's worth it. My mouth is on fire for sure. For sure. You have to run home and make this. I'm gonna continue eating, guys, but be sure to check out this great recipe and more how-to videos on dailyfoodtoeat.com. Bye everyone.